So, would you eat a lab-grown burger? It's a good question, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so last Monday, a $332,000 lab-grown burger went through a taste test. Now, this lab burger was grown from stem cells taken from healthy cows, and it was cultured in a sterile environment. Now, the burger, it's a mostly muscle, and it had to be artificially colored. Now, it came out like some sort of grayish mass, so it didn't exactly look appealing until they added some artificial crap on it. Now, one of the taste testers actually remarked that it was a little dry, but it tasted pretty close to meat. So, I mean, I think that's fascinating. So, what do you guys think? I mean, lab-grown burger.
I'm in favor, not because I would eat it, because I wouldn't, but I think that it would be a great thing to have if it could be made, cost effectively, because you can't get away with making it several $100,000 every time you make one of these things. But if they could do it efficiently and effectively, then yes, I'm totally in favor, because I'm vegan and I care about the animals. And if they can make laboratory meat and they don't have to kill another pig or another cow again in order to get that meat, then go ahead. In the article, the main complaint was that it wasn't fatty enough, so it wasn't really flavorful enough. But, just add oil, add fat, whatever, you need to do. There are plenty of ways to make it more fatty.
Right.
And this would also be great for the environment, because according to the UN, factory farming of livestock adds from any given year 30 to 50% of all carbon emissions in the United States.
And I want to get into some of those statistics in a few minutes. Now, of course, this burger wasn't exactly made for, I mean, it wasn't made to, serve in a restaurant or anything like that. Basically, the person that came up with the idea, and it's a Dutch professor by the name of Mark Post, he pretty much made it because he said, well, I wanted to see that it could be done. I see what's going on in the environment, and with with factory farming and with the way that we do things, and I wanted to see if I came up with a better way. And what's great about this, the thing that I love a lot about this whole experiment, is the fact that it was bankrolled by private donors. You actually had Google's Sergey Brin bankrolling this, and it's because that people are interested in finding a way to avoid using factory farms, because I mean, as a meat eater myself, I feel a little bit bad. I mean, I like my burgers, I like my steaks and everything like that, but the way that we do it is pretty horrendous.
I don't feel bad at all. I would probably not eat this burger, but I've eaten artificial burgers because they're at McDonald's, and I don't know why it cost them $300,000 to make a Big Mac, because I'm telling you that already exists.
Well,
Well,
you probably ate a
the way that they
veggie
did it.
burger or a soy-based burger or something like that. You didn't eat a factory-made
That's what
burger.
McDonald's is. It's a factory-made burger.
Well,
From
Well,
like,
animals.
that's made of pink
Well, in
slop.
this case, animals actually have to die in order for that to come to fruition. In this case, no animal would have to die. As it is right now in this country, just this country, we're killing and eating over 58 billion animals, land and sea animals, every year. 18 billion just in land animals. And over 70% of the rainforests that are being torn down are being used for land for keeping livestock and grazing livestock on. That would be eliminated. We would save all these lives every year. The 30 to 50% of the carbon emissions that are being emitted, of all the carbon emissions that experts can keep track of, that would be eliminated. So that's about half of our carbon emissions gone right there.
Now, even if you don't care about the animals, there are some really good stats. The fact that it will use these lab-grown burgers would use 45% less energy than we do in traditional farming. 96, it would generate 96% fewer greenhouse gas emissions than traditional factory farming and 99% less land. I mean,
And
that's fascinating.
Also, about 80% of the grain that we produce goes to feeding livestock.
There's
All of that grain would be saved and would be able to be fed to actual people.
And don't they also feed cows corn as well? And high
Farm
water
subsidies.
crops?
Yeah, farm subsidies, get rid of them.
You have
But
to.
they only feed cows corn because it's cheaper because of the subsidies. Like they would feed them something else if they could afford it.
Yeah, and if you actually started creating lab burgers instead of, doing the traditional factory farming, that would cut down on the need for the subsidy. You could get rid of that. You could stop using so many high water crops, as you like to point out. I mean, it would be a boon for.
And I mean, come on, both vegans, vegetarians, and meat eaters would all be happy.
No.
I still get my burger. It's still actual beef.
I want my animal to have a face. No, but in all seriousness, I think we should the cloning the weird stem cell burgers. That seems like weird to me. I probably wouldn't eat that. But
yeah, but you're eating pink slime anyway.
I know, but that's delicious. But if they wanted to give me if they wanted to give me alternative animals, because I started thinking about alternative animals, and they were good, they snakes is a good example in Florida. Like you can eat snakes, and because of that the thing where you bring a species from another continent that doesn't belong, like
an invasive species, right?
There we go. They're destroying the ecosystem in Florida. So if Floridians decided to promote eating snakes, then it would help get rid of the snake problem, and it would help the environment. And snakes are definitely less carbon, produce less carbon than beef and beef and pigs is the real carbon producers. To me, that's a win-win-win where you don't have to make a creepy Frankenburger.
Yeah, but it's not a creepy Frankenburger. It's actually made from it's grown burger.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think
animal has to die in order for you to have it.
I like the environmental effects of it, or the benefits of it, and I think this is a novel idea. And even if you don't want to eat it, you don't have to.
And meat eaters don't have to feel guilty about the loss of life and the loss of.
Don't feel guilty.
And think about it. If we actually do this, because they're saying that they estimate it would be about 20 years for them to develop the technology to mass produce these and actually get them on the store shelves. But think of it, once they do that, think about 100 years from now, nobody would ever think of eating a cow. Right. Because we would have this synthetic beef.
Right.
We could do synthetic chicken. We could do some crazy stuff.
But I would...
Because right now, what I want to point out right now, before you get to your point, Sean, is the fact that right now the factory farming, as much as I love beef, as much as I love bacon, I love my steaks, I know that the system that we have right now is unsustainable, and I'd rather eat Frankenbeef than no beef.
Right. I mean, I understand where you're coming from and all that. It's just I think we should start targeting and eating invasive species, right?
I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
Nobody's stopping you.
Huh? No, I'm saying.
Yeah, you go ahead and hunt down some animals yourself and kill them, slit their throats, and watch them gush all over the floor, and then skin their bodies and then cook their meat. You go right on ahead.
No, but I'm saying there are fishes that don't belong in certain areas, and I understand you're coming at it from a vegan point of view, but there are fishes that are invasive species that don't belong in areas that we could eat. It's just people aren't willing to eat them because they have no idea what it is. I think to me if you can't beat them, eat them. I think that could help. And we've seen it happen before. Lobsters were considered the cockroaches of the sea, and then all of a sudden they're in Maine and New England. They're the shit. They're the greatest thing ever. So
here's the thing. These two plans are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, they both can happen.
You could do both. So why not?
I agree. I'm just saying they both can happen. I'm just saying I would be more comfortable trying a snake than clone, not a clone burger, but a stem cell burger, because that sounds weirder.
Hey, you know what? If they're served at McDonald's for $1.25,
I'll eat it.
They don't actually say that they're Frankenburgers, You probably eat one and not notice the difference.
I know.
Once they get this whole thing perfected. So, and like I said, probably in 100 years, we'll all be eating Frankenburgers anyway. The people that are alive.
Right.